Okay, here we are with Brandi.
Hi, guys!
Brandi is my good friend from forever ago, and she agreed to do this podcast with me. And today we will be talking about movies and their basis on real life. So we were talking about this a little while ago, and we thought it would be really interesting to do a podcast on it. Basically, there are a lot of movies that say they are based on real-life events or stories that have happened or what have you. Now, Brandi is not a believer in a lot of these paranormal things. So we have kind of discussions about this often just because she doesn't believe in things. We'll see haunted things and she'll be like, that's not real. But so we just decided we'd talk about this. She does like scary movies, horror movies, and that sort of thing, which I don't. Well, I do, but I don't watch them that often. So I'm not too familiar with like the actual movie itself. But Brandi here is. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I tried to find like the real life stories behind the movies. There's a few that I couldn't really find any link to, so we'll try our best and see what we can find. But the first one on the list is Annabelle. So that's on my list anyway. What's on your list?
I got movies.
So why don't you tell us what Annabelle, the movie, is about somewhat? I mean, just like the kind of plot line to it.
So Annabelle is a doll that a spirit got trapped inside this doll, comes to life. Like a devil worshippers invade their home and launch a violent attack against the couple. It's like a demon. It turns into ultimate evil. So, my thing on Annabelle. The real Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll. The one in the movie is like this plastic, creepy looking doll. So my thing is like, why wouldn't they use the real doll in the actual movie if it's based on a true story?
Yeah. That's a good question.
I wondered that.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point. I don't know. Like, I feel like in a lot of movies, they have to embellish somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's what I read, like, when I pulled up the real story, it's some nurse or something in the 60s
Mm-hmm.
had a Raggedy Ann doll, and it started behaving strangely, and basically was told to this person by a psychic medium that the doll inhibited a spirit of a dead girl named Annabelle Higgins. So, the whole story, I guess they could have done a Raggedy Ann doll. Honestly, I think that would have been more scary.
Yeah. I think it would have been more creepier for a normal doll compared to like a creepy-faced looking doll with...
Yeah, because you already expect a creepy-looking doll to be creepy.
Uh-huh.
Like Chucky, that doll can't be... That can't be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doll, obviously, with the scars all over its face. Well, does it have scars in the beginning?
I don't think so.
But it looks creepy from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course it's going to be evil. That's kind of the campaign I'm under.
Yeah.
But if they added if it was a Raggedy Ann doll, maybe this is like a movie critique. I don't know, but
I would have loved to see the Raggedy Ann doll.
But I think a Raggedy Ann doll would have been kind of more fascinating.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be this innocent thing turning to this nightmare.
Yeah. Because from what I understand, the Annabelle doll in the movie, yeah, that's crazy. It's more almost lifelike in a way.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how... Maybe I don't understand how a Raggedy Ann doll could move the way it does, but something like that, I can be kind of like... That makes sense why that's...
More...
why it would be, like, caught, like, standing up or, you know, moving around in different positions. I can be like, okay, well, it's easy to stand that up, but... Now, I couldn't find... in my research of the real Annabelle, like the things that it was doing that made the person think it was possessed, I guess. I don't know if you were able to find anything in your looking it up, but haunted dolls just kind of in general are scary.
Yes.
It's a big thing, apparently. What's that, Robert?
Yes, that stuffed little Robert guy.
Yeah. And it's in Florida, isn't it? The real Robert.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be... I think from the real stories, it was found in different spots in the house and, like, seemed to move around on its own. Mm-hmm. And the actual doll would... I don't know if it was... Let me look that up really fast, actually. Because I feel like it was being... causing harm to the kid's family, if you remember. I don't remember. Is that a movie?
I don't know.
Are they making a movie about it?
I haven't heard nothing.
Oh. I feel like that's a big thing.
See, and I didn't know it was a real thing until I watched Ozzy and Jack's Road Trip.
Oh, yeah. You're telling me about that.
They had a Robert that Jack loved. He took it with them everywhere they went. Ozzy just wanted to blow that thing up and finally did. But every time they had this Robert stuffed animal thing with him, they would run into problems. And I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to find... I'm having internet issues. But...
I also watch Ed and Lorraine Warren. They have this museum of Annabelle that is locked up. And they say if you touch it, you will have bad luck. Mm-hmm. You will, like, bring it home with you or awaken it or something.
Mm-hmm. There's something similar with that Robert doll, too. I remember hearing about different stories, and I like to read up on creepy facts and stuff. Mm-hmm. I guess that's why I'm doing this podcast here, but the Robert doll, if you visit it and you say mean things or something to it or call it fake or something, then the spirit in the doll, or I don't even know, will come to life and will attach itself to you or give you bad luck or something like that. Wow. So people are, like, said to have, like, broken their arm or had other bodily injuries happen to it with coming in contact with this Robert doll and saying mean or hurtful things. So, I don't know. This Robert doll's got kind of a weird complex about himself. I don't know. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that.
It says here he's 111 years old. Lives at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. Wow. Before that, he was the property of Robert Eugene Otto and a member of the Key West family. It says, yes, the doll and the owner had the same name, but the boy answered to Gene.
That's very interesting. I know because the little boy was the only one that could, like, really care for this doll. Mm-hmm. And everyone else after, I think, was the doll didn't care for or something. Oh.
Is there a movie?
There might be a movie, guys.
What did we just find?
See, I know nothing about horror movies. I'm really bad at them. I really wish I were better at keeping up on them.
I love watching them, but I guess I should pay more attention to, like, the actual storyline, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to, though, when it has all these jump scares and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is actually interesting if you do pay attention to it, like what the story is, instead of thinking it's just horror.
Yeah, that's true.
It is pretty interesting.
That's true. I don't know. I did watch, this is kind of embarrassing, but my most recent, like, scary movie that I watched was The Winchester Mansion. Have you seen that?
I've never heard of that. Oh,
really? So, there is an actual Winchester Mansion, and this woman was basically, I'm going to butcher this history up real nice, but the woman had family history of the Winchester guns, and basically she saw a medium. I don't know if it was her husband's family that was part of the Winchester history or, fortune or whatever, but basically she saw a psychic medium that said that her family got money from the killing of all these people and that spirits were going to be after her. So the medium told her to build onto her house. I don't know if the medium told her directly to build onto her house or that's what she got from the meeting with the medium, but she said to continuously build onto this house and to confuse the spirits and to keep them away from her, basically, keep them at bay. So, yeah, that's the picture of the mansion.
That is massively huge.
Yeah, she kept building onto it until she died, and pretty much you can go on tours there, and I've always wanted to do a tour, but there are, like, doors that lead to nothing, staircases that go up to a ceiling, just, like, ways to confuse a spirit.
That is
or anyone, honestly. Like, can you imagine, like, breaking into somebody's house like that and trying to navigate your way around?
Wow.
That's not going to happen. But she built onto it until she died. And, yeah, you can go on tours of it. But anyway, the movie, it kind of showcased that, but then it showed that there were actual spirits trapped in this house. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess movies, you kind of have to accept that they're going to play on to the creep factor and they're going to add on to it because the movie, I didn't feel like went along with what the actual story was at all. Like, it was like actual spirits that were taking, like, guns and trying to shoot them. So I'm like, wow, I don't remember that from any of the little history videos I've watched in the past, but no, that's kind of what movies are, I guess.
Yeah.
The other, not to move on from dolls and possessed toys, which, final thought, I've always thought... You're laughing at me, but...
No. Possessed toys.
Possessed toys. I've always had, like, a weird thing about toys. Even when I was a kid. I don't know if I ever told you this. I had a Cabbage Patch doll that was meant for just the water.
Huh.
And its name was Penelope. It had brown hair, and it wore a little swimsuit and had little flip-flops. It was really cute, but because it was plastic, one day its legs detached, and it scared the crap out of me. I remember hiding it away in my closet, like pushing it up to the closet because I was afraid of what this doll could maybe do. Like, I was afraid of this doll after the legs had broken off. And I remember my mom asking me where Penelope was one day, and I'm like, she's in my closet. Like, I was so scared. I was scared of this toy that I don't know what I was afraid of, but I remember she fixed it with glue and stuff, but it was never quite the same. I never had the same relationship with Penelope after her legs had fallen off.
That would be creepy. That would be terrifying.
But, I mean, to be fair, I was like 5. So, you know.
Well, yeah. Anything that young.
Anything that young is going to scare you. But I remember being afraid of, like, my sister's Teddy Ruxpin and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But we're kind of old, but we're in our 30s now. So Teddy Ruxpin was a big thing back then. But I wouldn't allow her to play with it because I was afraid that... I don't know what I was afraid of, but, like, moving toys in general kind of freaked me out. So I think that's why these, like, Annabelle and Robert dolls and stuff really creep me out. I don't know.
Just like in Poltergeist, there's this clown. This kid finds, like, a red ball hanging with string. He pulls it down, and this, like, possessed clown falls out of his closet. And then, like, in another part, the clown is, like, sitting on the floor. The ball is pulling in with the string as the boy's following it, and it, like, attacks him. So.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
You watched that as a kid. No wonder people are afraid of.
I am terrified of clowns.
Yeah. Yeah. Clowns. Why are clowns so creepy? We're getting off on a different subject, but I don't know. All these, I think what it is, I'm pinpointing it, is anything that seems innocent. Or another fun fact, I'm afraid of a lot of things.
I think a lot of us have that issue.
But mine are more, like, don't make sense. They're more... I don't know. But Brandi and I went to a hockey game. This is, 2 years ago? A year ago? Something like that?
About a year ago.
And I don't know if you know this about hockey games, but there are mascots there. And anything in a costume scares the crap out of me.
I get it, because you don't know who's in it.
You don't know who's in it.
And you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, maybe I've just, like, watched too many scary movies as a kid. Like Stephen King. I like Stephen King. That's another thing. I shouldn't say that I don't like or watch horror movies, because I've always watched, like, Stephen King and stuff growing up. But, yeah, you don't know who's inside these costumes, and you don't know this clown or something. They're putting on this fake persona, and who's this real person inside?
Yep.
You know? It's just like some of the sweetest people on the outside are some of the most devilish people on the inside. So I guess that's kind of along the same lines, but
I'm kind of still talking about clowns. There's this movie called Clown, where this dad gets this clown costume for his kid's birthday party, and it starts to grow on him like real skin.
What?
It is a bizarre movie. It's freaky, and he cannot get out of this clown costume. It becomes him. Stuff like that, that's obviously fake. It can't happen.
Yeah.
But that freaks me out now to even come close to a clown costume. Because now I'm scared it's going to suction to my body, and my face will be suctioned to the mask.
I've never even heard of that movie.
It's pretty creepy.
It sounds really creepy.
Yeah, it came out in 2014.
That's kind of along the same lines of, like, possession and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's a possessed costume.
That's
Once
crazy.
somebody puts it on, you can't get it off.
Interesting. That's so crazy. Can you imagine being in that position and having... So, does he put the clown suit on voluntarily, or...
I think it's for the son's birthday party because the clown didn't show up to the party. I've only seen this movie once.
Oh, okay.
So...
Oh, that's really creepy. I've never even heard of it.
It is very freaky.
Huh. That's really crazy. Yeah, anything to do with something taking over your body or something freaks you out. Ew. She's, like, showing me a little trailer of it right now.
The mom tries to, like, rip its clown nose off and ends up ripping his whole nose off.
Ew.
It's him.
It's actually him.
Yeah.
Ew.
Can't do anything to get it off.
Well, if that doesn't scare you away from being a clown for Halloween, I don't know what will.
Yeah. He just terrorizes everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, they end up locking him up with chains in their basement.
Ew. This turns into like an actual review of a movie.
I know.
That's weird.
But yeah.
That's so weird. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's...
Wow.
It's freaky.
Well, on from that subject.
Creepy clown.
So, the other... I kind of asked Brandi a few movies that she wanted to maybe talk about and discuss because I'm, like I said, I don't follow a lot of these. Aside from Stephen King or something like that. So, Sinister is the other one that we're kind of going to talk about to jump subjects a little bit. Now, I've never seen Sinister, but I did look up some of the actual facts, have you, about the movie itself. But, Brandi, take it away.
So, I have seen a few. I honestly could not finish a few of them because it scared the crap out of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's based on this family that moves into this house. The dad finds this old movie player with the wheels that spin it around.
Mm-hmm, like a projector.
There you go.
Yeah. But old-timey.
Uh-huh. And he finds it in this attic.
I think Christmas Vacation when he's in the attic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's there with his little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what came to my mind. I don't know.
That's a good way to put it. So he's sitting there watching, and so I guess it's based on, like, real events that happen. He's watching these videos of these families being killed in creepy, torturous ways, and it's these kids that are being possessed and doing it.
Really? So the research that I found, let me just pull up my notes. It's supposedly based on an actual creature. It's like an ancient creature. I don't know from what time or anything, but it sounds like from a very long time ago. I mean, ancient creature kind of gives you that information. But I wasn't able to find actual dates of when this was supposedly happening. It's not based on like one story per se, but maybe based on a demon that actually existed. So it said that this demon, it consumes the souls of children and enters into their lives through pictures or through, yes. I guess it would mostly be pictures in this time because I don't know. I'm guessing it's super long ago. Like I said, I couldn't find like a date or anything that it was attached to, but it would enter through pictures and One piece of information that I found about this was they didn't even want to show the supposed picture of what this creature looked like because even looking at its face would cause bad luck or harm or whatever upon you.
Wow.
But it would basically enter the child's lives and, ooh, yeah.
That's the Sinister.
That's the Sinister from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And it pops up in, like, videos. Like he's in this water, he slowly turns and his face is there.
Oh, really?
Or he pops up in pictures and computers. It's a disturbing
That's
movie.
really creepy.
It's very disturbing.
So, what I found was basically kind of the tale you were telling from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the creature would command the children, would get into their mind or something, and force them to kill their entire family.
Yes.
And
record it.
Okay, they recorded it. Interesting.
Because these are the videos that this guy's watching.
Oh, okay. That's so creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That actually just sounds like a child molester or something.
Yeah.
Or like a serial killer or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So that could maybe be true. Maybe it's not just like a creature, it's just somebody lurking in the foreground.
Well, yeah, I guess it could happen. Someone that could be dressed up like that, reeling kids in and making them do things. So I guess it could really happen.
Yeah, maybe it's not, they're not coming from picture. It's not a guy coming from a picture, per se. It would be more of, because I don't see how somebody could just jump through a picture, but
yeah,
if somebody could get a hold of a child's mind, they could definitely brainwash them and have them kill their family or something. Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Yeah, it could happen.
The other piece of information, which I don't know if this is part of the movie or not, but it says that if an adult were to worship this entity, they would have to sacrifice and eat a child.
Huh.
Yeah, that's like the original folklore of this.
Wow.
So, and honestly, to me, this story kind of sounds like a word of caution almost. Like, stay away from these crazy, scary things and you won't have to kill your family or something.
Pretty
like,
much.
I could see it being a word of caution for people in like the 1700s or something, you know? I could see that. I don't know. But I found that really interesting. I didn't think I would, when I was researching Sinister, I didn't know what I was looking for, but I didn't think it would be, any facts or factual at all. But I did find that interesting that demon, it was based on a demon. Or said to be demon, who knows?
Possession.
A possession. Which I guess could happen. I don't know. Hard to believe. But
so based off of these movies, something just came to mind, like the movie The Exorcist, when it first came out in, God, I don't know how long, like 50 plus years ago, the very first one that came out.
Let me fact check that. 73?
Okay.
So how long ago is that?
About 50 years.
Yeah.
So I've heard stories that my mom has told me that when they were filming this movie, like the barn or something they were filming in burnt down.
Oh, really?
And when people would watch this movie in the theater, they had ambulances being called and people were passing out. I find that interesting, but at the same time, I don't believe it. Because I don't know, I just don't feel like it's a real movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That one's always a hard one. I've watched that one, but it's been so many years. I can't remember the exact premise. I just remember the girl lying on the bed, like, spewing hatred and pea soup vomit.
Yeah, I've never seen the actual movie. I've seen, like, all the new ones that come out. Like, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And
have you? See, I haven't seen those ones.
It's been a long time, so I couldn't really tell you what happens, but...
It's interesting.
I don't know.
I do remember people saying stories about it being that terrifying, that it was kind of banned in certain areas and theaters and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but maybe that was just because... in the 70s, I mean, I don't want to speak for people that actually lived in the 70s, but I don't think a lot of movies that vulgar and, like, scary existed, I guess. Yeah. So maybe people did, like, leave the theater in disgust and freak out, but who knows? So, moving on from The Exorcist, I guess staying in the same kind of category.
A little bit,
Insidious, you wanted to talk about?
So, I have seen these movies a few times, so I'm not, like, 100%...
You're not, like clear on all the details and stuff, but...
But what I'm interested about is that the spirit possesses these people... and they go into, like, this deep beyond to bring them back. I don't know, like, can that really happen? Is that possible?
I don't know. So, I mean, I guess if you're keeping your mind very open, I guess it's perceivable that there are other dimensions and other worlds or what have you that... I guess theoretically could be visited by individuals.
Yeah.
I will tell a story, and I may save, like, the full details for another show, but there was one time where I think I may have mentioned this to you. I've told a few people of this because I found it so interesting. But I was basically meditating one time, and I got into such a deep state of meditation that I felt, and it sounded like I was in another realm. Maybe I was in the spirit realm or something. And that sounds literally crazy and insane, and I understand that. But... I remember sitting there and it was complete silence. I was in a yoga class and the room was completely silent, and all of a sudden it sounded like chatter was around me. Huh. It sounded like I was in a crowded restaurant or something, and all of a sudden I heard somebody say in my ear, "Tara?" And that woke me up out of whatever state I was in. So it was like I was in another realm or another dimension. I don't even know what it would be. Like, I guess nobody knows what's outside of this physical world and this physical life. And I think that's why I find, like, paranormal stuff so interesting.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to... There's so much more than what we really see out there.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. You're very skeptical, but that's why I like having these discussions with you, because you're like, I don't know. I can see that, but I don't know if that's really true. No.
Yeah.
But so I can see maybe another world opening up or existing where people get trapped and someone would have to retrieve them. I can almost find that completely believable. Maybe that makes me insane, but I can maybe see how that would be a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't know. People come back to life after they've died, right? So, and they say that they've experienced something. So maybe it's not heaven. Maybe it's something, another dimension or something that they're entering. I don't know. There's a lot that we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I may have, like, spun that a little too hard, but...
I mean, hey, it could happen. I don't know. It's something to research, I guess.
Yeah. It would be. Could research it. Yeah. So, any other movies that you wanted to talk about?
I guess, like, on these based on true events, some of them could really happen. Like, for me, I know some could happen. I know some are fake. Like, for instance, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah, you were
That really happened.
Yeah.
It can happen because a chainsaw is a real thing. Freddy Krueger and Jason could be a real thing because knives. I had a friend who had made this Freddy Krueger glove out of real knives.
That's
so I know that kind of stuff can happen.
Maybe not like getting into somebody's dream.
Well, yeah, not going into a dream, but the actual character.
The actual state of like killing someone in that fashion would be completely plausible. I could see that.
And then you've got like Chucky, which is to me obviously fake because I don't believe that things can come to life.
So you're not like in the same boat of like dolls being scary.
Yeah. Like a couple months ago, my son has this remote control car.
Oh, I think you were telling me about this.
It was just sitting there. The remote was turned off. I don't know. The batteries could be dead. Who knows? It was slowly driving itself. But, I mean, and this is where it comes weird for me. I believe that it could have been something else playing with it, but it's not real. I'm in between it. I get pulled to believe
that is so interesting to me.
And then I'm like, no, it's not real. It's a ghost, but it's not.
That's interesting. So, are you more on like, I mean, maybe it's possessed by a demon. Just kidding.
Probably. I do have a few stories about interesting things that happen here. Do we have time for that?
Let's save that for another show. Because I feel like we could make a whole other show about this.
Okay.
But yeah, no, back to your, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and that kind of thing totally could happen. Like, there are some crazy people out there that are willing to kill people for their own enjoyment, their own pleasure. So that can totally happen. That can totally be a real plausible thing. So that...
Yeah, like, those kind of movies I can see being real, but then it's, like, for me, like, The Sinister, Conjuring, The Nun, Slender Man. Mm-hmm. How, to me, like...
Which maybe I want to do a separate show on Slender Man, because I want to actually see that one.
Yes.
Because I found the accounts of that whole thing very fascinating. So maybe we'll do another, maybe, if this goes well. But...
But, like, all the possessed movies and spirits and stuff coming out of walls and stuff flying and, you know, just all this paranormal activity type of movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never really experienced it, I guess. Based on my stories, I don't know.
But you have. That's the funny thing. Like, again, we'll get into that in another show, but...
That'll be a good one.
Stay tuned. But I can see what you're saying, like possessions and demons and stuff.
Versus real items that you actually see.
Versus somebody, an actual person going and killing people or going on some crazy rampage and doing something insane. Between the two, I'm probably going to believe the latter just because it's an actual person and we know the actual facts to it.
Yeah.
And possessions, I mean, some people can kind of chop that up to being a mental illness or something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, my mom had a friend who would literally have conversations. She was schizophrenic, and she would literally have conversations with, like, inanimate objects.
Wow. Which
somebody not knowing any better
yeah.
and not taking that into account could be like, oh, well, she's possessed. She has something, which maybe that's what... I don't want to discredit people with mental illness.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's you're stuck in another realm and you're not seeing things that the rest of us are seeing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're seeing more than what we're seeing is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Maybe that's very far-fetched, but...
Could be possible.
That could be a possibility. But anyway, maybe we should wrap it up. Thank you, Brandi, for joining me in this discussion.
Thanks for the opportunity. I just want to add this is my first time on doing this, so no judging, please. Love you guys.
I'm very new at this too, so yeah, no judgments are great.
It's a good experience.
Yeah. So I'll wrap this up for you guys. Thank you for joining us today and tuning in. Hopefully you return back to the show and we'll do some follow-up with Brandi and her actual haunted experiences, which I think will be fun and interesting.
And my friend, George.
Yes, she has a friend, George. And you'll get to hear all about that coming up. And yeah, just thank you guys so much. Please, if you're not already following me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm on there as Paranormal Podcast. Give me a follow and...
Help her out, guys. She's awesome. I love her.
Thanks, Brandi. Thanks. So anyways, thank you guys so much for listening today. Have a great day, great afternoon, great night. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Happy New Year.